Hey guys, today we're going to check out the highly anticipated Victory Sheriff 22. This is the newest addition to the series of these Victory lunchbox amps. They released it at the January NAMM show as the prototype. I got to actually check it out, which was cool, and they're finally here in June. So let's talk about it because it's different than the other lunchbox amps that Victory's done. And what's cool about that is they have so many different flavors for every kind of player. I mean, you have the Duchess for the blues guy, the Kraken for the metal guy, you have the Countess for that all-around kind of gigging musician kind of vibe, and of course now you have the Sheriff 22 as the British vibe sound. Now I think the BD1, which I own, I like a lot, is kind of like the orange amp sound, so if that helps. Okay, so this amp, let's talk about it. Here's your feature set right here. You have two volumes, which I'm going to say they're gains. I mean, that's just they're calling volumes, but really, if you look over to the far corner, you see the master volume, that's the volume. These two volumes are gain controls. Now, you can plug into one or two, so you can just use it straight up, or you can use the foot switch that comes with it and plug it into input 1. And then what happens is, now you can toggle between the gain 1 and 2 on the amp. So I'm not sure if that changes the entire voicings or if it just changes the two gain controls. Either way, the treble, middle, bass, and presence controls are universal, as long as also is the master volume. So they're all universal. So you have your volume 1, and it's straightforward. That's nothing. And then if you hit the switch, you get a red light. When the red light's on, you know you're on volume 2, which is gain 2. So, really impressive looking amp. I love the gold face. I kind of wish the Victory logo would be white. That would kind of make that pop a little bit more and give it more of a kind of that classic Marshall vibe. So when you're looking at the back, in fact, I'm going to flip mine over too so I can look at it. You have an effects loop that you can turn on and off that is not foot switchable. You get a bias adjustment. If you look at that, you can actually go in and actually adjust the bias, and I'm sure there's an instructional video on that using a multimeter. Obviously you got your 8 ohm outputs, 16 ohm outputs, and now if you notice where it says low power output 0.3 watts, that's where you get your power dampening down, and I'm going to show you that. So you know, unlike everything else, when you power switch down, you get a little drop in volume. This thing drops in volume. I mean, it's really quiet. You can't get it very loud in that mode. I was actually A/Bing it against a couple Marshalls, and when I first was checking it out, and it sounds more Marshall than Marshall does. I know that sounds weird. You know what it is? This sounds like, and this is going to be the weirdest thing I think I've ever said in any video. It sounds like what you picture in your head your Marshall sounds like, but when you actually hear your Marshall, it doesn't sound like that. Does that sound weird? I feel weird saying that. So in other words, not only does it sound like a Marshall, but it sounds like the quintessential Marshall sound, right? It sounds like a Marshall. So that when you think it sounds like a Marshall, and then you get a Marshall, this sounds more like what you pictured the Marshall would sound like. So whatever that means. So very cool. It is light. It is small. It comes with a bag. It's priced less than the other ones. All the other ones are in that $12, $130 range. This one's under that. I'm not sure how much under it is, but it is. So let's check out some sound samples. So let's get into that right now. So as you can see, it's a pretty versatile amp. It is plenty loud, although if you saw, like saw in that 0.3 watt mode, definitely can play in an apartment with no problems whatsoever. And there's no way a neighbor would complain. You know, your average TV volume was louder than this thing, almost on 10 when that mode. Now, and what's cool about that is, you know, it's a bedroom use, recording use, and then of course you can take it to a gig. The other thing I mentioned is I'm running it through a Mesa Boogie 112 cabinet with a vintage 30 in it. So that's what you were using for sound preference. So, and just straight mic to the camera. All right guys, as always, if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to, go ahead and hit that subscription button down below. It lets me know that you're interested in more videos and it motivates me to make them. If you like the videos, hit the thumbs up button. Please leave comments. The only thing guitar players like more than watching gear reviews is reading what other guitar players think of the gear that they've seen. What's cool about this one is, although it's new to the market and there's not a whole lot of people out there that owns one who have some experience to put, you can tell us what you thought of it overall. So it's it's kind of fun. So keep that in mind. As always, thank you for your time and know your gear.